Welcome. It's good to see everyone back after a very long break it felt. New faces and old. Excited to get started this year. There's quite a few changes in 2026. All thanks to Mark, who's doing a lot behind the scenes to really expand, I guess, the community we've got going on here. AI is a big new focus for us this year, and particularly the crossover between blockchain and that space. So this is going to be a good evening of introductions, updates, and just networking, I guess, at the end. So I'll pass over to Mark, who will share some of those with us today.
Thank you. You can sit there and hold the mic. Is this thing on? Yeah. I know, right? Turns out I don't. Hang on, I've got to... So we've got two mics, like one's for the room here, and then the other one's for the... Oh, there we go. There we go, green light. And then the other one is for the recording, because if we didn't record, it didn't happen. There's some seats towards the front. It's what happens when you come in late. If you eat the pizza, you got to come take a seat. Let's go. Hey, Mike, come on down. Right here for you. Come on. Yeah. Second row. It's a really exciting time to be part of all of this. Very happy to be here and be doing the first event for the year. We wrote a manifesto saying how we wanted to do more AI-related stuff. We were already doing it, but just officially in that capacity to be able to say that we're doing stuff. We're going to show you some things here. There's a whole heap of links. We'll throw that back up. That's just the link tree. We've updated the website in, the title is wrong. So there's still hallucinations and it's human-led. But when you go to www.defi.org.au, and I do suggest you go in and log in, because there's going to be a competition with some giveaways at the end. And it's a competition that you've got to do within the app. I'm going to show you, rather than like these stills, let's actually go to the website here. So when you first log in, defi.org.au, there's these categories, blockchain, AI. We'll go through what that is. We'll focus on the blockchain side of things for now. But one of the things that we've been doing, apart from getting the design redone, is we revamped how we were doing the newsletter. It used to be this thing that on Sundays, whatever time I got home from anything, it would be, okay, get the newsletter out on LinkedIn and Substack. And there's many of you that are subscribers already. And if not, please join. But we wanted to actually make it so that it's more of an up-to-date, more real-time sort of event. So Lydia and I have been adding and contributing to this. If anyone wants to be a contributor, we're very open to that. This is what it looks like. And if you are someone that wants to be contributing, guess what? We built a way, whether it's a YouTube video and it will auto put the thumbnail up, you can put in a description and all of that. And what it means is that all of these insights here, so this is on the blockchain side, we've even got stuff on the AI side of things as well, because we are tracking that news. You can click on these, see what was going on, a short summary, but more importantly, we can do other things as well, which I'll get back to. Lydia, do you want to talk more about some of the stuff that you've been seeing in the news? How has this helped you?
So I guess it's just a way to stay on top of everything that's going on in the industry right now. And it's not all depressing news on the insights page. We try to give a bit of a holistic view.
Some weeks are better than others, but and the fact that we've got this summary thing here. So if you profile yourself, there is a profile area. When you click on the summary, we're using AI to just give you a bit more of your own version of a newsletter or whatever it is that you put in your profile that you want to get the summary on, plus the links and all that kind of stuff. What's some of the interesting things that you've seen as you've been tracking the news?
I guess it's the variation of innovations that I guess we've had over the last few months. From, I think that most recent article was card readers now being placed into a few local shops. And then you obviously have the larger stuff with stable coins, a lot of licensing going on. So there is just quite a range of things that a lot of times you can stay quite narrow visioned in terms of what you're interested in and what you look out for. And I guess it just expands your awareness of what's going on in the industry.
So if anyone else wants to contribute to this, we're building things out further. This is just the newsletter, as you can see here. But then some other things that we're doing as part of this include highlighting the different meetup groups that are around. So we want to be this hub that brings all of this kind of stuff together. So if you are traveling, whether it's around New South Wales, Sydney, or nationally, these are some of the prominent meetup groups that are out there. And the other thing is it's the meetup groups as well as Telegram. And I say other, but it's really Discord, although, more people on Telegram. So we're going to start adding to that. We've only just started doing that. If you've got ones that you want to contribute as a member, you can put in your details here, and then that'll go to admins and groups that you want to be seen as part of this. We used to run a Web3 calendar and everyone was going to that, but then it was very manual. We built some scrapers to scrape those things off Luma, Meetup, and there are ways to manually add things in as well. And more importantly, there's this community list where if you're a member, you get to see, bless you, all these other people that are a part of this great community that's growing. And if you want to connect with them, whether during the event or after, you can do that here. So we're kind of building out more of these features to be this hub. So, and then finally, there's this new thing, which is the events calendar. So this is all events here that you can see. There's one on the AI side as well that we're going to be adding to, but across the next couple of months, whatever things are going on, whether it's Policy Week or our own events. And I've got to add some other ones like Blockchain Sydney, one of our neighbors, the events that they're doing. It's all going to be there. Lydia's helping to run these things with me, but if anyone else wants to contribute, that'd be great. What can you say to folks out there that might be interested in, volunteering and helping out here?
Mark's not a bad boss, so I would recommend.
Chris would beg to differ, though. Chris up the bat, so yeah.
Found up again, shackles on his feet. But no, it's just obviously a great place to meet people consistently, and you see the same faces, but you also see a lot of new faces. So it's just a good opportunity to learn.
Have you enjoyed the for me, it's always been about the network, and that's the value I get out of it. What's that been like for you?
Yeah, 100%. The network has been incredible. And like I said, you see familiar faces each month, and it's just great to establish a really solid relationship with those people without having to force it.
Fantastic. Well, everybody thank Lydia for getting us started. You'll hear from her again a little bit later. All right, so I'll get to the next part. So this is where we do the presentation. So it was updates at the start. There's presentations. We always follow the same sort of format. Hope you enjoy the pieces. We're not yet sponsored by Domino's, although we are working on that. I feel like we have to hit a certain milestone of pizza. I don't know if they measure it in human bodies, tons, metric, whatever, crypto, gold bars, whatever. We'll see. But it is being worked on. So if anyone has connections there, please help. Tonight's guests are going to talk about this is the blockchain side of things. We're going to go into AI. We're even going to see some vibe coding for anyone interested in that, some real life stuff. And as Chris warns me, it's always the demo gods that you got to be wary of, but we're going to try. First up off the bat, let's get Mezfi down. Where's Jerome? Oh, hang on. I should go full screen. What am I doing? That whole time. All right, Jerome from Mezfi, welcome.
Should I sit or should I stand? What do you reckon? Sit, stand, what do you think?
Up to you. Do you want to be behind the thing or do you want to be on the side?
I guess I can be on the side. I'm happy to stand. That's fine.
Go ahead.
Hi, good to be here. As Mark very correctly said, I am from Mezfi. However, tonight I'm repping MZF Protocol. I guess it's probably good to give context. Mezfi is an investments firm which I started about 4 years ago, which is tokenized mezzanine lending. For those that don't know, mezzanine debt is the middle stack between first mortgages and equity. It provides developers, property owners with extra funding to be able to do what they need to do to finish a project or whatever it is. It has higher returns and higher interest than bank debt, lower returns, lower cost than equity. And so my sort of vision a few years ago was to bring that on chain. We've been doing that. We launched our first fund about 2 years ago, and we've been doing bespoke deals recently online for hotels, and sort of land projects in Melbourne, Geelong, few different places, and you can either invest with crypto or AUD as well. So it's sort of like a Web 2.5 play at the moment. But about 6 to 12 months ago, we had an idea for basically porting that concept across to Web3 startups. So obviously the funding model for startups everywhere is, raise equity, sell off as much of your company as you need to in the first instance, and then hope that you'll be able to make enough money to make it worthwhile in the end. And so we sort of took the venture debt model, which works somewhat in the and I had a good conversation with Tim before about how venture debt sometimes doesn't work and sometimes it does. But at the end of the day, these are all very risky kind of plays, and a lot of these token projects have great ideas. They have good tech. And we don't want them to have to necessarily give up a whole lot of their equity in order to launch. So what we've done is we've created a token protocol or a DeFi or decentralized funding protocol called MZF Protocol. And basically what it does, its first product, I guess, is DeFi-backed token-backed loans, which essentially we provide capital, between 6 and 18 months out of utility token launch. We support for the company to go through that stage or all the stages that they require to launch their token, help with marketing, help with market makers, help with exchange listings, help with all of the things that they require. We get paid back at launch, and we retain a percentage of tokens, which is vested as per the sale that the particular company has. So we have two sides of this. One is the investor side, and one is the holder side. So first up, the holders. I mean, we started our private round about 3 months ago. We had to reset for various reasons, which if anyone's interested, I can talk about afterwards. But we've gone back into that now. We have a few holders, and we are looking for further holders right now. We're looking to launch our own token in Q1 and maybe into Q2. And then, on the website, you can check out the website. We'll talk about utility. We'll talk about all those kinds of things. But I think today I really want to focus on the founder side, which is, we have investors who are happy to fund these kinds of projects. And so that's all for high net worths, accredited investors. So those two things are really separated. We're building the Vault infrastructure right now to be able to fund those projects. And so we basically fund projects from anywhere as little as $500,000, 250,000 up to $2 million. It's basically around the world, but mostly in countries where we can rely on the legal systems to be able to, if something does go wrong, we need to be able to enforce. So there are those kinds of things that we have to think about. But at the moment, we're working with a few Australian founders to get them through this process. We did have a few in Switzerland and elsewhere that we were working through as well. And we should have our first deals over the line within the next few months. And so I guess I'm here today to two things, I guess, is one, obviously, if anyone wants to be a holder, please give me a call and we can go through all of those kinds of things. But the other thing is that I know that a lot of founders come to these meetings and people who want to be founders. And so if anyone has a dream and, has an idea for a project or is working on a project, please contact me. I guess I'll sign up to the Aus DeFi thing or through the website, through the email, and love to chat to anyone about their projects and about how we can help support them.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Jerome. Awesome to see the growth. I've seen, I don't know how long it's been, but it has definitely been up and to the right, I can say, for the project. So thanks very much for that. Next up on stage, we're going to get Sammy from Mezfi, the exchange. We're going to go through some market updates for about 10 minutes or so. Welcome, Sammy. There.
Hey guys, how are you? Just a quick market update. Maybe just telling everyone to not panic at the moment. Is it? But no, Yeah, just I'll give a brief update on various sections of the sector, like liquidations and events and upcoming trends and things like that. So, yeah, starting off, this was obviously yesterday's data, but we had nearly 300 million in liquidations in 24 hours. We also had our fear and greed index was, well, today it is 10. You'll see on the next slide, but which is basically the lowest it can go. So, as Warren Buffett says, be fearful when be fearful when others are greedy, and greedy when others are fearful. So, all right, moving on to the next slide. This is just a brief overview of what's happened in 2025, 2026. So we did see around 10 million new users. This is obviously on-chain data, not going through exchanges and things like that. So yeah, that's a huge leap from where we were, and I think it's expected to grow to around 70 million from A16Z's research. We also have 181 million monthly activity addresses, which is on-chain. So obviously that's nothing would be included from exchanges and things like that. This is just mainly, if you're sending and receiving money on-chain. So yeah, this is the market sentiment analysis for today. As you can see, we're on extreme fear. With the extreme fear last week was 15, which was essentially the lowest. That's when that the minor dip happened. I say minor because I've been in the industry for over 10 years, so I've seen everything. But yeah, so last week was basically the lowest it's been in a fair while, and in May last year was when it was at the highest. When I think that was essentially the top we had. So yeah, and then we obviously, I don't know if you guys seen this. This is from CoinMarketCap. So they have indicators on cycle tops. So we're at essentially, there was a few that hit when we hit the initial top at 125, but now they're back to zero. So there's no indicators on that front. So yeah, these are just the largest liquidation events. Obviously, everyone knows the recent one, the 10th of October, which was the largest one, roughly at about 19 billion in liquidations, and there was 1.63 million traders that got liquidated in that event. And then we had one back in April. That was around, I think, during COVID time. So that was a pretty significant one as well. I don't think any of these were when the FTX collapse happened, if you remember that. But yeah, these are just the major liquidation events that we had. So I don't know if everyone knows the rainbow trends chart. So this is a pretty accurate chart, from my viewing. Every time someone says Bitcoin's dead, it tends to be down here, down these blue areas, which on this chart, Bitcoin is dead. So, and then eventually it tends to cycle top anywhere, where the red is. So now we're sitting around here essentially. So we're in I feel like a good spot to have a good uptrend, and looking forward to the next couple of months. So these are the major market events and impacts. So we did have a few in January with the crypto crash. So the ETF flows hit 308 million. I think that was this year. So you can kind of see the inflows coming back into crypto while it's continuing to go down. We obviously talked about the largest liquidation event before, 19.16 billion, and the fear and greed. We've discussed that. So these are a few events also that happen, like hacks, and I don't know if you guys seen the other day recently with the BitHum era, they gave out 2,000 Bitcoin to, I think it was roughly 1,000 people instead of a $1.40 reward, and obviously people just sold and tried to get out. And then you had the TrueBit protocol hack, which was 27 million. That was a vulnerability with a multi-sig wallet, and a $284 million hack from, I think that was a social engineering hack that someone got into, unfortunately, someone's wallet and essentially took everything. So make sure your wallet's all safe. And yeah. So with these are the current trends. So right now, the current metas are RWA, things like real estate, bonds, on-chain assets. Also, another big one, like you see in Australia, is all the stable coins coming on. A lot of different banks and companies are trying to create their own stable coin because they can kind of see where it's going and the value and obviously the income that it's earning for other people that already have one. Privacy technologies is a massive one that people are focusing on now. Obviously, with all these, new regulations and KYC and things like that. Perp futures is another big one. AI agents is, I feel like the talk of the topic at the moment with, OpenClaw and all these other coding platforms coming out, and restaking. So, things like Eugen Layer and other protocols. So the upcoming metas are privacy cash or privacy swaps, I would say. So you're going from one platform to the other without KYC, things like that. A lot of those are becoming more relevant now. Canton Networks, another big one, that's an institutional blockchain that trying to kind of combine all the larger corporations to start utilizing it, whether that's on a stablecoin level or a data level. And then we have DePIN, which is decentralized infrastructure, like let's say cloud computing, GPU sharing, things like that. Prediction markets is another massive one. Obviously, likes of like Cauchy and Polymarket, and Hyperliquid's also, I think, implementing prediction markets at the moment. Modular blockchains have always been around, but I think they're coming back into that the momentum, just having the ease of configuration and things like that. A lot of private corporations would like using modular blockchains, things like Celestia and other ones. And Bitcoin Layer 2, that's been around for quite a while. A lot of people don't know about it, but yeah, just building, I think there's a lot of new tools. Stacks is probably the largest Layer 2 on there. And obviously that provides them with another layer without the fees and transactions and things like that. So yeah, it's just easier to kind of utilize apps and things like that. So yeah, the key takeaways at the moment: extreme fear, opportunities, fear and greed. Nines historically marks local bottoms, and previous extreme fear readings preceded significant rallies. So yeah, as the open interest declines, you kind of say obviously everyone's either scared to enter the market or they've exited. So you see a lot of opportunity and things could just go nuts kind of out of nowhere. On institutional growth, we talked about a lot of the ETF flow coming back. And this from MEXC's data, we saw an increase of 10 million just from roughly about a year, so 10 million new users. And the derivatives I think we've climbed from top 20 to top 10 just in this last year. And yeah, so the catalyst for 2026, we have obviously the FOMC and the things like the things like various policies that the US kind of would get around with regulation and things like that. There's a lot of uncertainty, even though, as Trump said he was going to come into office and crypto would be kind of the main thing. But obviously things kind of, I think, take time and there's a lot of pushback and things like that. So, yeah. And I think that's about it. We have the macro environment, so the FTF flows like I talked about, and the RSI is kind of sitting at the support zone right now. Yeah, that's about it. Thanks, guys. Yeah, there's our socials. If you want to join, that's about it. Thanks.
All right. Sorry, I got to turn my mic on. I know the voice, but thank you so much. Thank you. All right, that was awesome. Great to see the market updates, and I think it's really important as well to have all of that. Just 1 second, just check with Chris. My mic okay? Yep, good. All right, cool. So we're gonna get now. That's from the exchange point of view. We're gonna get from the fund point of view as well. So as you guys might know, there's various different crypto funds out there. One of the most prominent ones here in Australia is JellyC. We're lucky to have a representative from there talking about all sorts of things that they're doing. Laetitia Lynch, thank you for joining up on stage. Thank you. Yes.
Hi. So I'll just introduce myself briefly. I joined JellyC about 4 months ago on the sales and distribution side. And I'm just going to give you a very brief, broad update on what we're seeing and what we've been involved in recently. For those who don't know, I guess Mark gave an intro, but we're a digital asset investment management fund focused on institutional grade custody and for institutional and wholesale investors. We've got 4 funds. 3 have liquid strategies, the Bitcoin Plus, which is core exposure to Bitcoin. Our digital infrastructure fund, which just invests in the blockchain premium networks such as Solana, Ethereum. And then we also have our market neutral, which is just focused on income generation. And then we also have a 4th fund, which is our illiquid fund, which is a multi-strategy fund. I thought given the way Bitcoin's been performing recently, we'd just share a brief update on how JellyC is navigating the market and how we're positioning ourselves. Please note, it's not financial advice. It's just how we are viewing the market and how we are positioning our funds. So our JellyC balance sheet is primarily been positioned in market neutral. And we've been waiting for an opportune time to deploy the funds into the market. We've decided that we'll do that at 50K. So once Bitcoin reaches 50K, we'll go into our 2 long funds, which is the digital infrastructure and Bitcoin Plus. In saying that, last Friday, we did move 20% from our multi-strategy fund into the Bitcoin Plus and the infrastructure fund. In summary, JellyC basically sees 50K and 60K as those entry points. Again, it's not financial advice. It's just how we're positioning ourselves. And the other update would be the tokenization. So JellyC did participate in Project Acacia, which I probably won't go into in detail, but I just wanted to use the opportunity to share how JellyC is basically going to position themselves. So we do have a goal by June this year to tokenize all of our funds, and that would just allow for continuous liquidity, live NTA, and instant settlement, and it will just enable us to be able to move from one fund to another and rebalance with machine learning. So that's something exciting that we're looking forward to doing. Another update from this week is the DECA Policy Forum in Canberra, where industry leaders basically come together to contribute to policy frameworks. Michael Prendeville, our CEO and JellyC founder, alongside Joni Perovic, co-chaired a roundtable and prepared a paper on Australia's confiscated crypto and why a strategic digital asset reserve is critical for Australia. So that was yesterday. They received a lot of positive participation, including online participation from the US Advisory Council, who were hand-selected from the White House and were able to add some insights onto how they've experienced it and the struggles that they came to. So the results from that forum should be expected to be presented to Parliament in May this year. So we're happy to share some insights on that once that gets released. And lastly, I just wanted to use the opportunity to promote our podcast, Unblocking the Chain. So our latest podcast, we've got Yat Su, who's the founder and CEO of Animoca, and he talks about what they look out for when they're investing in companies and projects. They also talk about the NASDAQ listing and why they chose the US. And he also gives some insight on tokenization. And then we have a market update as well, which was just done last week. So I think they can discuss more about our price points and why they think those are important. And then we also have a podcast on the macro outlook, where Drew Bradford, our chairman, and CEO Michael Prendeville each share their top 5 predictions of what they expect to see this year. So feel free to scan the barcode, or if anybody wants to participate in a podcast, let me know. Thank you.
Thanks, Yash. Awesome. Yep, definitely come see Laetitia after class if you want to get your face on a podcast that had Yatsu on there. It's not a bad deal. You'll have to line up behind me, so just letting you know. We've got a few more kind of presentations going on, so just a reminder, if it is your first time here, 7:30, 2 hours, Chris? Oh, okay, all good. I got the thumbs up. I don't know if that's good or bad. Oh, it is good. It's not good. He said good, but no, I'm just checking. Anyway, I'm just teasing Chris. But we are basically going to do this until about 7:30 or so, depending on how talks go. And then it's networking time. So you get to talk to the amazing people that have been up on stage, sharing and lending their insights. There is prizes at the end. I will open up the quiz after this next presentation. I'll show you what is there. It's not on the website yet. I get to activate it from my phone, the joys and wonders of technology. But I saw this next presenter as one of the top finalists at the Aus CryptoCon for what it is that they're building there. So I saw Karthik just before I went up on stage, basically in the green room. So it brings me great honor and joy to present Demether. Come up on stage, Karthik. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Arun. My absolute pleasure to be here. I'm going to lurk around here because I need to control the slide deck, but great. Right, so that's me in the top left. My name is Karthik. I'm the lead contributor, or basically CEO, of the Demether project. I've spent about 18 years shackled to a desk at Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, and a whole bunch of terrible PTSD-inducing firms that I didn't mention, but also on the upside, Animoca Brands, when I finally saw the light and came over to the blockchain side. My colleague Juan, who runs the technology side of the business, is ex-Google, Columbia, a whole bunch of other illustrious things. But most importantly, he has worked on the fintech side as well as the crypto side, which is why we see tremendous value in him joining the team. And then finally, Krishna, who we've known for a couple of decades, has spent a very, very long time shackled in a basement at the likes of Google and Apple. And occasionally we let him out to help with our AI frameworks that I'll go into very shortly. We're backed by names that I'm sure you recognize, a whole bunch of funds. Either the founders grew up in Australia or are based in Australia. We are incubated by the likes of Kraken, Chainlink, and GSR, and we're doing a whole bunch of things with them that I unfortunately can't mention for the time being. Community small but growing, and hopefully we can add you guys to it too. The problem statement for us at Demether is something that I'm sure resonates with all of you. TradFi yields frankly suck, which is one of the reasons why we got into DeFi in the first place. But of course, you've got to keep your eye on the ball. It's incredibly exciting, but also incredibly risky. So we pose a very simple question. What if you could bring your real world assets that you're very happy to hold through every cycle for the long term into DeFi and leverage those mind-blowing yields. And that's exactly the solution that we're trying to come up with. We should be launching very, very soon. So these are snapshots of a live app. And we built our product to fulfill one desire, which is double-digit yields in one tap through a mobile interface. Number one, we want to abstract absolutely everything. So when you have a balance, you're not confused by a whole bunch of random LRTs or different, versions of stable coins. You see something that's consolidated and backed by oracles where we can really justify the price. Number two, we want to automate your access to DeFi. And it should be seamless going into an ETH/USDC position, for example, through to lending on Camino, all the way through to getting access to cutting edge assets like Tesla and other RWAs on chain.
You can switch to the AI hub or the blockchain hub. Stay on the blockchain one. Event apps. You will see a quiz. Go to the quiz. Do you see it? Yes. Take the quiz. Go. Do it now. This is a race. All right. There's 15 questions. Top scores, and not just because 15 questions, you all could get the same kind of marks. We are timing it. So there's a little timing going on in there. If my vibe coding has worked. Okay. So go on, put your hand up.
Prizes.
And there's 6 prizes. So I won't answer any questions here and give it away. Let's go through it, Mark. No. But I am going to wait till people are filling it in. So no quiz attempts or no completions just yet. It's only 15. But what's on the hoodies? What have they got in store here? Let's do the quiz show kind of presentation.
Yeah, I mean, we do good merch. So hoodies has come out to winter. It's been a warm summer, but obviously winter's going to be cold. So
Winter is coming.
these are super warm. I love them. I love a hoodie, as I think most people do. Give it to you.
What does it say on the back there?
Integrity first. Trading on KuCoin next. So that's our slogan at the moment. So, and again, we're super regulated, super tight on everything compliance-wise. So
Can we put come to Aus DeFi third?
happy to do that.
All right, cool. There you go. I'll personally write on those for you. But yeah, these are good size hoodies. Have you got different sizes there?
2 different sizes, so extra large and extra tiny. But no,
Hang on,
a few different sizes. So
Is it working? Are you guys in?
no one's found the quiz.
Right. So I thought people had said that they'd started the quiz. All right. Hang on a sec.
Technological.
You're in it? Okay. You might have gone to the wrong side. Hang on. There. Event apps. Quiz.
Got it.
Can I see? Who hasn't got the quiz? Hands up. Okay. I'll come around. You're in?
Does anyone have any questions on KuCoin in the meeting?
Are you in?
Yeah, got it.
Okay. Cool. Anyone that hasn't got the quiz? All right. You guys? Yep. Yes.
6 hoodies, 45 people in the room. It's pretty good odds. So,
sorry. How do I go to a... DeFi.org.
I have a question up the back of the room.
So sign up.
Sorry, big button.
What's your base tier B?
I think the question was what your base tier fee is.
Yep, 10 basis points aside.
Okay.
So entry level, 10 basis points.
Oh, tiers,
Make an Iger.
not tiers. Okay, good.
Is that what you meant? Yep. Very cheap.
All right, how's the quiz
Other
going?
exchanges are 50 basis points either side.
All right, let's have a look. Let's refresh. Let's see some performance. Okay, we've got a few people up there.
Oh, there's one clear winner there.
I think we've got the. Depends on the scores. Let's go. I'm going to go back and see what the actual scores are. 100%. I'm going to give it. Sorry. Let's see if 2 more minutes. If anyone can beat Adam and Robert at 93 and 87%.
Robert Irwin's here.
Robert Irwin is here.
I'm sorry about Steve.
We are very sorry about Steve. I met a guy named Dean Martin who works in the blockchain space as well. So I think as Jerry Lewis is right here, if anyone, any old heads. All right, so I'll do another refresh.
Arturo.
All righty, so 93%, 87. We're still alive. When the clock hits 7, is that a question or?
15 seconds.
Okay, let's have a look. Oh, he's right. Jerome the Don. All right. Adam is still in the mix. Sorry, Karthik. Adam is still in the mix. All right. Yep. 15 out of 15. We'll figure out some other prizes. There's going to be more of this, like we used to do POAPs, like these proof of attendance protocol things. We may bring that sort of thing back, but we want to bring everyone into the hub to do this, because the next time we do this, we're going to ask your opinions on things. We're going to do votes. We'll show charts. We'll make this far more interactive. And it's 7. Who's number 6? And by the way, before I reveal this, this is based, there is a timer underneath. So it's not just, okay, it's alphabetical or whatever. There is a timer counting the milliseconds, supposedly. So, okay, there we go. Varun, Jerome, Too Easy, Matthew, Patrick, and Lydia, come up on stage. Claim your prize.
Do guy apply? Accept.
Yeah, he's I just want to lose way better, right? So, yeah.
Lydia's saying that if someone wants to buy hers off her, she will accept Bitcoin.
Where have you gone? Actually, large if this won't do.
Alrighty, congratulations, everyone. Congratulations.
Yes.
Well done.
Mark, okay. Easy Santa. See. Alright. It'll be fine.
Well done. Okay, thanks, Mark. Thanks, Kucoin. Thanks. One more. Wait, is that 6?
Someone else come up?
Did you have 7?
Maybe 6 or 7.
Okay, 6, 7. Nick the Mac. Nick the Mac, come on. Oh, Nick. All right. Mac Desi.
8th prize for a tote.
Number 8, Adam. Who's Adam? Adam, you get the tote. Yep, proof is fine. I believe the system. We are fine. You can see the times there, folks. Like, I haven't made this a really long swim race. 149, Jerome, you did well, man. So, look, everyone, thanks so much for joining. Thanks for doing all of that. We're going to get to the AI side of things right now. But before I do that, I do want to bring up on stage, because he's just come out of his meeting here and time is precious. Arturo Rodriguez, come up on stage. The infamous, to some people unknown, the slow clap presence of this gentleman right here. We used to work together in a company called NotCentralised. I then started my own AI-focused venture studio, and we probably became NotCentralised because you're over there and I'm over here. But in any case, we still work together when it comes to blockchain projects. I am head of AI at a law firm, and then we've got an innovation arm to that as well called Foundry Labs that's built this, and we'll talk more about all that kind of stuff later on. But just while this is up on here, Arturo, I thought we'd just bring you up on stage before we go to the AI side to talk about what have you been up to with Redbelly? How is Project Acacia going for you? And just a little bit about, I don't know, your life.
Is this thing on?
Oh, it's not. Hang on. That's why. Here we go. Hang on. There we go.
Cool. It's actually been really, really good. We've been working a lot with various institutions, and all of a sudden found this point where, the standard question that everybody asks themselves, why are we doing all of this stuff, right? Why are we using a blockchain and so forth? And it's becoming so much more apparent across multiple levels. And I think that a lot of what we have been doing has really been focused on lending. And I'm not talking about DeFi lending, I'm talking about traditional, old, boring lending. And understanding how those processes work and the cost of the process itself. So here I've been talking a lot about, institutions or traditional businesses needing to reconcile information between themselves. That's very expensive. It's also very important because you can have a lender and originator, for example, that sits here and creates loans. Then they want to fund those loans, and they will do so by raising capital, which means that they will be forced in many scenarios to have a trustee involved as an independent verifier, let's say, of all of these different actions. And that independent verification is actually quite expensive, unnecessarily so, and it's necessary. The expense of this independent verification comes twofold. One of them is because the processes are really, really inefficient.
We're effectively talking about sharing information via CSV files and emails, or if you're sophisticated, you'll use SFTP. And obviously things will go wrong. There's a cost to the systems, there is a cost to the time, but there's also a cost to the acceptance that we won't be able to catch all of these problems, which then means that we will force originators to have skin in the game, which means that there's a capital requirement for you to be able to issue loans that is quite expensive, because you then need to have a lot of money on your balance sheet. And that cash in your balance sheet will define how fast you can grow. Because if you grow too fast, then you need to raise more capital, and that's going to be expensive. And, you have all this cascading effect of the issues with these inefficiencies. So what we figured out is that, quite interestingly, all of that is actually, it's a data integrity question. It's nothing more than that. But that data integrity question makes it is what simplifies the process for people to effectively be able to invest into these loans or invest into these financial products, because they might see a PDF and they might really like what they want to buy, but the question is, am I really buying that thing? And that's something that we haven't really faced. And you could probably argue a lot with my following statement, but we haven't faced it the same way in the DeFi space. Because if we had actually done the research, we would have been able to capture a lot of these fuck ups that we've seen. But there's a difference again between knowledge, capability, religious belief, and it's DeFi, it works, and the data actually existing on chain and you being able to verify it and question it and see if it is there or not. That's super powerful, and that is effectively what has led to the extremely deep pools of liquidity that we see in DeFi today. At the end of the day, we need to acknowledge that the ability to have pools worth billions of dollars with a bunch of people that don't understand rules, regulations, and so forth, and don't know each other, and most likely don't even know each other, trying to arbitrage each other constantly, and the system still works, is a testament towards the value of that data integrity. And the way that we solve that lack of data integrity in the traditional space is effectively by paying quite a lot of money, by hedging that risk, and all of these different things. Where we're ending up now is being able to go to businesses and not even talk about tokenization. It's really about talking about the issues that they have, which are, how much money do you spend on being able to reconcile this information? It's a lot of money. How much money do you need to carry and balance sheet in order to, let's call it, hedge or be that lender of last resort, or the first hit, let's say? And again, that's a lot of money. So it's fascinating to see all of a sudden how the conversation moves away from where's the token to how can we implement this high integrity blockchain that is actually a database that, because of its integrity, also becomes a transaction layer between institutions.
It's like from monkey JPEGs to controlling monetary supply. It's a really interesting, let's call it maturity that the space has had. The technology has always been there to do these things. It's just taken a bit of maturity to get the institutions to be part of these things. And I guess as part of Project Acacia, this wasn't just like a little tiny project, a little construction project like we did in 2023 with the RBA, but this one had multiple institutions on board. And I think this is the thing to realize with projects like this. It's that it wasn't just that you hear pilot, you hear project, you hear experiment. And when you look at the people that were involved, these are businesses, custodians, Northern Trust, big names, Perpetual, etc. that were working with Redbelly Network, a public-private blockchain that public permission blockchain. Sorry, guys, I've been spending too much time in AI. That basically means that there's all these groups that want to take this further. It is not just stopping after this project, but there's intention there. Is that right? To actually do more of this in the real world.
Absolutely. Quick question: how many people are here are playing in the DeFi space actively today? Okay, it's a good number. I mean, it is called the DeFi community for a reason, right? But a lot of the work that we've been doing has also been to try to understand the economic benefits of DeFi, which is really, really interesting because we tend to think of DeFi as a really efficient way of dealing with the capital and moving money around. And what we've learned is that that's a very nuanced statement. It is efficient with regards to certain aspects, but it's quite inefficient with regards to others. And the inefficiency on this angle, which I'll briefly explain, is not that visible within the DeFi space for two reasons. One of them is that DeFi is typically related to crypto, so there's so much volatility, meaning that that inefficient pricing for a few bips or maybe even a few percent is not a big thing. Unlike if you compare it to traditional markets, where in the fixed income space, right, you look at a few bips difference, and that really, really matters. The second part is being honest. There isn't that much sophistication in the DeFi investor space, so it's not something that people will necessarily identify. Unlike in the traditional space where there's quite a lot of sophistication. Now, the part that is quite good to take away is that if you compare, for example, three market structures, which is, let's call it OTC versus order book versus DeFi pools.
OTC being over-the-counter bonds, they settle that way.
Yeah. OTC is basically that I've already found a person that I'm going to trade with. And trade with Mark, we've already set the terms and conditions and so forth, and we just execute directly. Order book is that somebody's running this big order book, and I will submit orders, they will match, and then maybe we can even settle atomically on chain. And then DeFi pools, which is that there's like this always on facility where you can constantly trade against. Now, this one is really, really efficient when you've already found a price to match. Therefore, the inefficiency is effectively price discovery. There is no price discovery. You have to call around, and you will pay a price for that. But on the other hand, if you have the relationship, this is really the best way. Order book, it's actually a nice place there in between. And I won't get too much into that one because the point that I wanted to make with the DeFi pools that we've learned is that DeFi pools are really expensive because you have to have a lot of liquidity deployed into them, which then means that the cost of capital against this liquidity is quite expensive, right? If you're running an Aave pool, for example, you want to have 60% utilization, which as a lender is not particularly good, but as a borrower, you kind of want that because the reason you go to an Aave pool is because you want to have that instant access to liquidity. So effectively what you're doing in these DeFi pools is that you're paying for the optionality in constantly having access to a price and an ability to trade against that price. And that's, again, it's super valuable, but it's really expensive if you compare it to other more traditional ways, which is, again, just more OTC type trading. And what we're doing now is we're effectively coming into that space where, going back 2-3 years, everybody was asking, when is this going mainstream? It's actually going mainstream now, which is fascinating because all these tools that we've built up in the DeFi space are actually adding value in the real world, but then they're also being benchmarked against how real world operates. And what we're seeing is then that there is a space, there is a place for those things, but it doesn't mean that the ASX is going to run as an AMM. Like that doesn't make sense.
They've got a new CEO coming out, so that just got announced. The CEO is leaving, so that you never know.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
But anyway, look, it's been a really, really interesting experience to be able to sit there in between, let's call it pure DeFi and pure TradFi, and see what does it make sense for the future to look like in terms of new market infrastructure as, let's call it, a merge between all of these different tools that we have.
Fantastic. And for more insights from Arturo, you can come see him after class behind the principal's office just over there. Arturo Rodriguez, my former colleague. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Now, and Arturo is still a partner at Foundry Labs in terms of anything blockchain related. Chris, my other business partner, is checking his camera. He's going to come up on stage next. And let's talk a little bit about AI. So if you didn't know, Chris and I run a podcast that we called Digital Nexus in the past. because AI came up with it. Is that right, Chris?
It was. That's exactly how. We were very
Oh, by the way, guys, this is Chris.
Hi.
So, you know, he's always behind the camera. You don't often see the guy behind the camera, the one that never dies, that sort of thing. Anyway, Chris, tell me about Experts in the Loop. What's, behind you, you've got some of the people that we've had interviewed.
Yeah.
Who are they? Why?
Well, so Experts in the Loop kicked off. We originally started a podcast talking about AI. We had AI title the podcast for us, realized that was a dumb idea because so is everybody else. So our channel was just the same as everyone else's. But playing on that concept of human in the loop, we thought, we're speaking with these incredibly smart people across
the
experts. Why don't we call it Experts in the Loop? So we didn't use AI to come up with that name amazingly, but AI, I guess, has brought that name about. And here we are with Experts in the Loop.
So you can check out the podcast. These are some of the builders. Annie from Build Club, who grew her little group of AI-focused individuals working on Saturdays from 10 to 50 to hundreds across Australia. We film over at Fex Global Studios. It's a really cool podcast place. And it's been really cool to actually get these people up there. You can see the old branding, Digital Nexus, on there, but the new one, Experts in the Loo. Yes. Oh, the P's cut off. So Experts in the Loo it is.
Yeah, so
you can't you.
We chat with builders, founders, creators, all types of people across who are utilizing AI to improve their processes, to improve your processes and things that you're doing. People who have big vision around what the future of AI is. And it's really exciting because it means I don't really have to teach myself things. I can just sit with someone and they can tell me all about it.
Yeah, exactly. We're getting the latest updates and stuff, apart from just like listening on headphones all the time when I'm walking around. These are great, the bone conducting headphones, except people think that you don't have headphones on. So anyway, staying on topic is not part of the game plan, Chris. In this video, we actually showcase the people just building with something called Claude Code. I'm actually going to show you guys now something live. So the Aus DeFi, the quiz that you'd seen there before, here I am signed in on my local one. This is the main menu that you've got going on between the two, the blockchain and the AI side. The AI side's got a few things in there. You can see all these founder interviews. The cool thing, if you haven't seen this before, when you're actually watching one of the videos, you get an AI explanation generated underneath, and this will be the first test. Okay, there we go. It is working. You can ask the AI as well a question. So whilst you're watching the video, it is there. Works on the phone as well. But what I wanted to do, just going back to the main page, I'm not really liking, Chris, this like main landing page. And
we have to do something about it.
One of the people that is big in the AI community, and he's been a big fan of blockchain and stuff as well, is Jason Zhu. He's grown his channel from a few hundred people to a few thousand to 200,000.
200,000.
And now he's big in the design space. And what he wanted to build was a way that you could have through Claude Code a way to design. If you're building from vibes, right, you have to really know how to describe something. Or you might have an app like Lovable, Base 44, Bolt. Hands up here who's used some of those tools, or Google's one. All of these like sorts of tools. Oftentimes you have to actually know the design, or you cut and paste from an image, and it's a bit crude to tell the AI, hey, I want you to copy the McKinsey website because I'm going to have mine called, I don't know, Monforty or something like that. Anyway, I'm not here for the jokes, but he's built this thing where basically it works with Claude Code. So if I click on this, Claude Code is something where you can run on your machine. There's a whole bunch of things you can do in the web. But here I am, and normally I would say something like this. Hey, the categories page looks ordinary. Fix it, or something much better than that. I'd give it like a lot of details, and we'd come up with some ideas. What's happened instead is that during my workflow, I can go to Super Design, which I've installed on this. And if you go to superdesign.dev, you'll be able to see that. And what it does, okay, I didn't actually give it instructions, so I just happy clicked away there. I call Super Design. This is one of the Claude Code skills. Claude Code is a CLI. It's a command line interface where you can interact with things on your computer. If you wanted to get us analyze Excel files, a bunch of emails, anything that's sitting on your machine, just be careful that you point it to a particular folder. You can see here, I am getting it pointed to a particular folder, so it goes nowhere outside that. Doesn't steal my credit card. This is not Claude Bot, the crazy thing that was people were using over the weekend. But let's just say that
you're running this local.
I am. I want
And
better.
Can you connect to a GitHub repo and stuff?
You can
as well.
Yeah, you can. I want a better design.
Who's
using anyone using Claude Code here?
Couple of people.
Okay, some brave souls there. I do like it. And out of the, were you any developers in here that are starting to use AI in what they're doing? Put your hand up. That's right, Arturo. To the page. I'm just going to be as simple as that. I'll just say, I think it looks bland. Now, before, if you just did this with Claude Code, what would end up happening is that it would maybe come up with some design stuff. You can see it's doing some thinking there. Let me start once you provide me the page path. Actually, this is the page path. So let's do that. Is the path. And now it's going to go into Super Design. What Super Design does, it looks at all your code. So I built initially this going between Bolt to Bolt.new, which is the app that will publish all these things online. Oh, hang on a second.
So traditionally, when you think about the workflow that even a lot of UXs and designers are currently doing in businesses, that you'd have your own design live environment, whether it's connected to a GitHub and its own branch. And those people would be doing real-time design work with something like Cursor and Claude partnered together, and actually just coming up with ideas, testing it with real people, and then probably pushing that branch back into the real code if it's functional and able to do.
You can see I've used 79% of my weekly limits, but that's okay because you can pay overs to get more access and stuff. But
as I say, so what that actually means, though, when you're doing that live sort of creativity testing, you're having to innovate and make decisions one by one, step by one step. What this is going to do is changing the game about how you think about those steps that you go through.
Yeah, so there's a lot of planning mode that goes in here. I've been pressing yes to things because I'm just saying, yes, read the designs here. And it's going to this GitHub user content website, which is on it's the place where the code from Super Design Dev runs. So what's happening is that I've got my code. Super Design Dev has its code and its instructions on good design. It's now going to go and create
an error.
That's okay. There's an API error. Let me check. Yeah, that's fine. It should be fine, I think, demos. But basically what will end up happening is that there'll be a page that opens up and it will showcase, as you can see here. Initially, it's going to recreate your page in its design tool. And then it's going to, actually, I need to click yes on that. So now that I've clicked, that's okay. That's okay. You know, the good thing is like when there are errors, it'll just go, okay, well, I know there's an error. I'm just going to refix that. It looks like Super is having, it's having some issues. That's great. Jason. Yeah, that's great. Anyway, Super Design Dev has templates. So let's take a look at the templates.
Essentially what we have that, so the canvas that actually loaded up would come up with 3 different concepts based on whatever the prompt is.
I'm going to go to my LinkedIn so you can actually see, because I put a post on this. And this is the thing, like, you know, I probably cursed Jason from saying that I was going to go live today. So just ignore all of this stuff here. A post that I put out last week showcased some screenshots from this. So let's go to that. I'm not going to like my own post. I don't do that. Although it's okay if you do. I really don't mind. What is going on? Why is this so slow?
It could be an internet thing.
No, it's okay. It's coming. Okay. No. Chris, where is it? I swear I did it here. Hang on. No, that's okay. Show all. That's okay. Come on. All right. So that's Chris. There's this. There's that. Tech House. The job thing. Foundry stuff. All the good stuff. I posted it on Friday last week. Why do I not see it here?
Oh, well, there, isn't it?
What do you do when you get, is it this one? Okay, maybe it's this.
Yeah, because there it is.
Okay, cool. So this is the one. So, sorry. Let's see if we can blow that up and stuff. How do I open in the new tab? There we go. Precisely that. So what it's supposed to do is first of all show you on this first one like the original kind of page and what it looked like, and then it'll come up with some other designs. So if you're building, even if it's with Lovable Base or Bold, you can download your code from that, run it on your local machine, and then get Super Design to hook up into that, or do it through GitHub. There's various ways. I prefer Claude Code because I can just work on it on my own machine. before I uploaded. But then I chose, and you guys can probably see, I chose that sort of design there with the tabs at the top, which is what you see in Aus DeFi when we go into the page. It's that tabs one because I just thought it's a better design. Originally, we had it as this, which was harder to see, not so great on the mobile, etc. I don't even know if that first one's great on the mobile, but hey, we'll continue to build out. But the cool thing is that this one looks at your design and it will help you just continue to build out each page. And you don't have to worry about the design part because you've got an expert there. And if you don't like one of these, what you would be able to do is click on that and then ask it to make changes further. You can then download that code and then throw it into your design. I would throw that into Claude if it was working properly.
After we feedback that his tool bugged out in front of 100 people, he is planning also to roll out interactive features so you could click and drag actual elements on the pages for the design that you...
I'm going to try again. So
that back into your code.
And there's a whole lot of stuff that he's going to be adding to this, and I've subscribed to it because you get a few tokens on the free tier, but on the paid tier you get a whole lot more. And he is one of the guests that we're going to have on the show, so you'll hear more from him. Chris, why did I do this? Why did I agree to
warned you up front? But I think it's a great thing to show you because it is a cool AI thing to test out.
The green stuff, by the way, folks, is basically just doing the coding now. I don't think the super design thing was happy, so that's okay. It does work. It's basically what's created a lot of the new designs that you see on the Aus DeFi website. I initially created it, but it's improved it a whole lot more. I'm using it in a whole lot of other areas. Foundry Labs was built with that. One of the problems that you have, like if you've used Wix, Squarespace, hands up who's used those Squarespace, WordPress, etc. to build websites. You start off with those templates, and a lot of tools in the vibe coding space didn't have that. With this, you could copy one of his templates that are over here, and basically get started with a template. It will copy exactly what you see on screen here. Then you use the other tools to then redo and revamp and just rejig what's on there. So if you like one of these designs, you can now take this into your vibe coding tool, get exactly that, and then play around with it from there. So I think that's
one of the ways you can do it is you can download that file, which gives you all the instructions on how the design needs to look. You may have then also the context of the platform or the website that you want to create, whether you've gone to ChatGPT or Claude or whatever and said, create all the content for my website, take those as 2 TXT files, upload it into Claude or whatever design tool, and then say, hey, based on these 2 files, create my website. And it will then merge the design with your content creation to create a pretty awesome looking platform without having to worry about much or tinker with much.
How's it been going for you? Because Chris, you're a designer, not a developer by nature. Like, how have you been finding? Because there's a lot of folks that, this is like maybe scary, daunting, getting into this kind of stuff. How have you?
The selection process of ideas, right? There's always, a big pipeline of ideas of things that you want to test. From a traditional standpoint, I've come from that Figma into development, into testing, and the iteration goes from there. That has sort of removed this whole Figma step and still given me the variations to test different things and quickly roll back those tests where previously I might have been too thoroughly down one particular path. I can quickly pivot now using Super Design with the varying options that I have. So I can do more in less time and make better design decisions because I have something that's giving me more ideas.
You can make better choices, right?
Exactly.
Okay, cool. It hasn't changed too much, but that's okay. If anyone wants to know like how to build all of it, I mean, the whole fact that this thing has been built from scratch, it's no development apart from taking all the existing code and just continuing to add to it. We've had about 17,000 people that have hit the website since we've done this in this new way. I think that there's a lot of cool stuff there, and keep on coming to these events because eventually I'm going to have to change this picture to be from here because this is the last venue that we were at. This is the time of the night where we get to go back to networking and eating leftover pizza and garlic bread, my favorite. And if anyone wants to connect with any of the speakers that were up on stage, ask them questions, talk to Chris or I, please feel free. Thanks very much, everyone.
Thanks, guys.